Hello again from my front porch, where it is a beautiful Easter weekend here in Iowa. And Easter, of course, is a time of celebration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, the foundational element of the modern Christian church. People can debate whether the event actually happened. They can debate whether Jesus really was everything that the Bible says he is. But this isn't the time where I want to be doing debates on that stuff anyway. Plus, I already believe that. So I'm not going to be inclined to want to change that opinion. But regardless, even if you don't believe in the Christian faith, Easter is still a time of rebirth, of resurrection, of new life, new beginning. There's a whole lot of symbolism that comes out of it, even if you are not a believer and a follower of Christ. Now, that being said, while I think it is a lot of reasons to celebrate, I do choose to celebrate for the reason of the holiday. And yes, I know the academics will say, well, it's not really the day that Jesus, this is tied to some other previous pagan holiday and the Christian church just over. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm not here to discuss any of that either. It's a commemoration. Whether it actually happened on this day or not, well, we know that it didn't happen on this day because Easter as a holiday keeps moving around. So the idea that it happened on this day this year is ridiculous. It is a commemoration of that event. So shelve any of that kind of stuff. And the reason I'm taking time to do this is not because I'm trying to lecture about my religious belief, or I'm not trying to browbeat if you don't believe in that, but I'm trying to queue up for what I want to share with you. This is a video that was recorded nearly 20 years ago now, and it's one of the proudest moments of my life. And I don't say that arrogantly. I say this as, it's one of the top memories of experiences that I've had. And I've had a lot of experiences and seen a lot of things, but this stands out really, really important to me because April 15, 2007, I was able to sit in an empty church in Blairsburg, Iowa, with Don Francisco, gospel singer and songwriter, and I was able to sing what is probably his best known signature song. Oddly, more people know it from Dolly Parton than they do from Don Francisco at this point, but it was Don Francisco who initially released it way back in 1977, the same year that Star Wars came out. And this song has just been a juggernaut since then. And it's been re-recorded by Dolly, by the Gaither Vocal Band, I'm not even going to be, you look it up online. There's just a list of people who record this because it's a powerful song, and it is by the opinion of many, including myself, the consummate Easter song. It tells this dramatic story of from the perspective of the Apostle Peter, of him struggling in the aftermath, after the crucifixion, and wrestling with all that he'd promised versus what actually transpired, even from himself, where we know the story that he denied Jesus 3 times, even though Jesus told him he was going to do that, and he said, "Oh, no, I won't do it," and then he actually does. And so the song, most of the song is Peter wrestling with that internal turmoil about what had been so eloquently discussed and promised and praised, and then what actually happened in reality and how it just crushed him and destroyed him. But then, fortunately, the song has a good strong ending, as the title "He's Alive" would give away. Odds are you've heard it. If you haven't, well, you're about to hear it in a moment because, as I said, I got a chance to perform it with Don Francisco. Back in 2007, I had the opportunity to work with a couple of other folks that we helped coordinate some live appearances of Don Francisco here in Iowa. There was at least one in Marshalltown. There was one in Blairsburg where you're going to see the video from. Those might have been the only 2 that I was involved with, but I remember those 2 distinctly. And he's a wonderful guy to work with. Just really, really inspirational. And man, the guy has talent. He can sit there and with just an acoustic guitar and his voice, he can transport you through all of these different story songs, and he just has just an incredible ability and talent. And so when I was a kid growing up in church, my mom was very musical. She sang in church, and so all of us kids were raised in church and we'd singing. And the pastor's wife at the time, Opal Reese, she was also very musically inclined and an encourager of others to do that as well. And she saw something in me that she saw, hey, this kid, he likes to sing, and not only does he like to sing, but he likes to sing with impact. He likes to not just entertain, he likes to educate. He likes to inspire through, she saw those things. I didn't see that I didn't know that about myself. She helped bring that out of me. She helped me understand that about myself. And I'm so grateful. Been very grateful ever since. But she helped me pick out different songs, and we do fun little ones, and then some that were started to get a little more mature in terms of we went from doing I am a C, I am a CH, I am a CH, a little more kid-oriented songs to she got me into doing songs like there's a lighthouse on the hillside that overlooks life's sea, if you know that old song. And so she began to move me into doing some of those songs that were well beyond my comprehension at that point in my life, but they resonated with me. But she introduced me to the song He's Alive, and it just captured me. Not only because of the power in the message of the song, but because of the power of the song. This has hardly any repetitious lyrics. There is a chorus, but you only hear it really at the end. And it's repeated several times. It's a story song, and it tells a narrative story in such a magnificent way. And it just captivated me like I cannot even to this day describe. And it revolutionized, it completely changed how I saw music and how I used music, how I saw it being applicable, how powerful a tool it was to convey messages. And so that song became hugely important to me, and I learned it and I would sing it. My dad would tease me because the chorus at the end is a lot of singing really high and loud, He's Alive. My dad would come into my room and say, oh, I thought you were strangling a cat in here. What's things like that when I was practicing, when I was learning it as a kid. But it became my signature song for a number of years. For a long time, when I would perform in places and do stuff, it was the song that I was identified with as well, which I don't have any problem with. But it just, to this day, remains that one really, truly powerful song that every time I hear it, there are other songs that stir me and move me too, but this song, every single time, whether I'm listening to it or performing it, it just, my heart just swells. And I can just, I am Peter in this story. And I can see the whole thing through his eyes. And that emotion, I'm even feeling it right now. And I'm not even singing the song. That emotion just rises up and it just dominates me. And so, after the show in Blairsburg, Iowa, after Don Francisco got done performing there, and we're clearing everything up and everything, I asked him if he would indulge me by letting me sing this song with him. Now, when I said with him, I assumed it would just kind of be me like singing with him. But as you'll see in the video, he asked me, what do I want to do? And I kind of half jokingly said, well, you can play and I'll sing, or you can play, you can sing, and I'll go along, or I'll sing, and if I mess it up, you can jump in. And he chuckles, and you'll see that here. But fortunately, the way that it worked out was he was willing. This guy who launched this mega gospel song, at that point 20 years prior, it would have been 30 years prior, because 2007. Who had launched his, and he'd been playing this over and over and over again. He actually sits there with his guitar and he just plays this man who wrote the song. It's his song, and he accompanied me and let me sing the whole thing, and then gives me a really nice compliment at the end. But this is not about me bragging and showing off about, oh, I did this. This is about me sharing this with you on this Easter weekend, because this song embodies why Easter is so incredible.
So, what are we going to do here now that the camera's on?
If you want to go ahead and play, I can sing, and or you can jump in and do it if I'm messing it up for you.
Okay, I'll straighten you out then if you screw up, all right?
Gates and doors are barred, and all the windows fastened down. I spent the night in sleeplessness, rose at every sound. Half in hopeless sorrow, half in fear the day will find the soldiers breaking through, drag us all away. Just before the sunrise, I heard something at the wall. The gate began to rattle, and a voice began to call. I hurried to the window and looked down into the street, expecting swords and torches and the sound of soldiers' feet. There was no one there but Mary, so I went down to let her in. John stood there beside me as she told us where she'd been. She said they've moved him in the night, and none of us know where. The stone's been rolled away, now his body isn't there. We both ran towards the garden, then John ran on ahead. We found the stone and the empty tomb just the way that Mary said. But the winding sheet they'd wrapped him in was just an empty shell. How or where they'd taken him was more than I could tell. Something strange had happened there, but just what I did not know. John believed a miracle, but I just turned to go. Circumstance and speculation couldn't lift me very high, for I'd seen them crucify him, then I watched him die. Back inside the house again, all the guilt and anguish came. Everything I promised him just added to my shame. For when at last it came to choices, I denied I knew his name. Even if he was alive, it wouldn't be the same. Suddenly the air was filled with strange and sweet perfume. Light that came from everywhere drove shadows from the room. Then Jesus stood before me with his arms held open wide. I fell down on my knees and I clung to him and cried. He raised me to my feet, and as I looked into his eyes, love was shining out from them like sunlight from the skies. Guilt and my confusion disappeared in sweet release, and every fear I'd ever had just melted into peace. He's alive, and I'm forgiven. Heaven's gate.
Yeah.
That was very good. Thank you.
Good job. You
That
got
was
some
good.
pipes there.
So you see what I mean? Wasn't that powerful? I don't like listening to myself, but I will listen to that one because of the song, in spite of me. But I really enjoyed that experience. It was incredible to get that opportunity with Don Francisco. It's always incredible to get to sing that song, to be able to perform that. And every time I do, I always get feedback from people who they say it touched them, that it helped. And that's what it's about. That's why I even do that song. So anyway, this Easter weekend, whether you are a Christian, you identify as such or not, I hope that you do find it to be a weekend of refreshing, of renewal, of resurrection, of new life. That it is a time where you get to hit a reset button on whatever has been plaguing you, and you're able to go forward in new life. And with that, I'll see you all next time from my front porch.